All right, Lady Ada, we are live in Brooklyn. It is raining. We are doing a show and tell. What's going on tonight? What are you
Blame it
doing?
on the rain.
What's happening?
We have show and tell. To me, Lady Ada, with me, Mr. Lady Ada, our little robot camera friend. We're checking with people from around the maker community. What are they hacking, coding, soldering, sewing? We want to see it.
Oh,
We're
you
also
know
going
what?
to check it.
We really don't have these red. We don't have some weird illness where we have. we have
the
these
pink lights.
We have these pink lights because in our other show we have black and white. And like,
Yeah.
you know what? This
It's
must
giving
be.
me some color.
This must be like I saw like black and white photos that then there were what the shows looked like when they were actually filmed.
Yeah.
And you didn't have like a blue dress because it's black and white, so it was like a really bright color. Anyways.
Okay.
So
all right, we're checking with some folks from the Ada for community, but maybe we are like pink.
Yeah, I'll see what I could do here, but let's go to Erin.
Yeah.
Erin, what you got going on?
Hello. So I got a new project this week, which is really kid friendly. Kids are going back to school, and I'm looking for fun projects to do with the kids in my life. So I made this lotus flower. It is basically paper craft. I just took a bunch of iridescent vinyl and cut it into petal shapes, and then just used some scotch tape to sort of stick it all together. And inside is a Circuit Playground Express, and I just programmed it with make code. And right now you just click the center of the flower and it'll turn itself on and off. But of course, with the Circuit Playground Express, it's got sensors and all kind of buttons and capacitive touch and all kind of fun stuff. So there's a million different ideas and projects that could be done with this. So I'm working
so beautiful
this week. And then my grand master plan is I want to make a really big one. So like I made a paper one to just prototype, but I think making, maybe putting another big LED ring behind it, maybe making it even bigger. So anyway.
What's cool is this is one of those projects I was joking about this in our remote team meeting before this. I said this looks better than it should because but those are really powerful projects like the iridescent tissue paper, and there's just like lots of materials where you just bounce light off of it and it looks like it's filled with sheets of neopixels, but you can just use a few neopixels so you can stretch your pixel budget. There's also fiber optic now, and there's a lot of other cool things that you can do. So I've been doing some more lighting, and I'm getting to the point where I'm just like, you know what? I should just get some like gels to get an effect in addition to programming stuff as well. Like I could just put a color on something, and then I just have like a mood light and then take that off. And instead of just like trying to program that and then switch to a sequence or something. Anyways, good work, Erin.
Sweet. Thanks, Erin.
Thanks.
All righty. Let's go to JP. JP,
hey,
what do you got going on? Uh-oh.
All right, I'll tell you what I got going on. Yeah,
you're blank.
Why are you blank?
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Did your camera shut off?
I'm seeing me on the broadcast. Am I not there?
You know what?
Yeah, it could be us. Whatever.
Just keep going. Yeah, it must be the laser.
Tell us. So I don't know if you can see my my overhead camera here, but this is something that Phil and Lamore and I were chatting about is what happened to these? What happened to these weird futuristic laser projection keyboards? So I'm going to wake it up and it'll brighten up here in a second.
One of the stories behind this is like when I was in advertising, they're like, Phil, come in with your bag of tricks and show the future. I'm like, okay, this is a laser keyboard. It's not the future, but I'm just going to. They're like, oh my God, this is so cool. And this was like 20 years ago. And
it's the future. It's a Führer. No, that's not good.
It's like a light embedded in a crystal or something. It is paused forever, but I don't know why I would use this. I have some ideas with some wearables and some like, mobile wearable LLM thing where I want a keyboard. I remember, was it Humane? They had that thing where it's like, it was like calling and would like go on your hand, but you need a little projector. And I think that's the other piece of this. Like sometimes you see this bundled with a Pico projector, and I find we figured out what Pico projectors are really used for. If you do cake decorating, they put it on top.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
It's like a number one use
Of
case.
course, that's what it is. And I because I got one, I got this like thing that has and it's like 4 Pico projectors, and the box didn't have like a dude or anything. It had this family, and they were decorating cakes together. I'm like, this is cool.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah. So anyways.
Yeah. So these things, they still
Future.
exist. I looked into them a little bit. They were originally invented at IBM in 1992.
Oh, God.
And then in around 2002, another company came up with their own technology for building this sort of thing and licensed it to Celluon in Korea. They were the ones who came up with the Magic Box, which is like kind of the first one you could buy. For some reason, they still exist. This one, a lot of them are real old looking. This one,
whose parents are paying for this?
USB-C on the side, so you can do connect direct. You can charge the built-in LiPo. It can act as a battery bank, the USB-A here for charging other stuff. It works with a direct connection, and it's a Bluetooth classic keyboard. These things here, you're seeing a camera on the left, a projection on the right, and then there's a distance sensor on the bottom. And so it kind of sends this pattern, but really what it's looking at is the brightness and distance of your finger in the infrared camera. That's what it's watching for. They work decently if you hunt and peck.
Mini Connect.
Oh, I think I disconnected this one when I turned it off. But yeah, weirdly, these still exist. They range from the, I don't know, $20 or $30 I spent on eBay for this one to $170 for the same exact one if you buy it from whatever sharper image happens to still be.
Great margin.
Gadgettech.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Ozempic pricing of gadgets. Okay.
So this also is somewhat related to the project I've been working on, which is in a Pico W or Pico W2. And I've now got this project working as a Bluetooth classic keyboard bridge and a Bluetooth LE or BLE bridge. So this one gizmo with the Pico W with its little Bluetooth and Wi-Fi capable chip on it can connect up to a BLE keyboard, which is what I showed last time I was on, and a Bluetooth classic, which you kind of almost never even know which one you're dealing with. This thing here happens to be Bluetooth classic, so I've started working with it. But amazingly, on the Pico with some Arduino code that I wrote, working with Claude Sonnet 4, it will now start up plugged into whatever device over USB host, and then pick up whatever key presses you're pressing on the keyboard and send them along. So it's a way to add Bluetooth and BLE capability for keyboards onto your computer. And I'm working on getting that working on the Fruit Jam as well. So we will add the capability to potentially use any of those Bluetooth or BLE keyboards you might have. To type in.
Cool.
All right. Well, you know, Hacked Planet. I don't know, man. We got to figure out. I think it's a good prop for us to like just do. We should just film like what am I working on, and just use a different weird keyboard and just tell everyone like this is how you do. This is how you have to program now, everyone. You've heard of AI, but this is actually what is going to turn into now. You have to do this. Sorry. Yeah, you have to use light.
It's rate limiting. It's how you deal with rate limiting in your AI. Is you just have to type real slow.
Yeah, you have to put a quarter in it. Is it a subscription? On the side, and then it turns off. Okay.
All right, cool stuff. All right, guys.
And we'll see you on JP's workshop.
See you on the show tomorrow. Come on by.
Do not stare directly at the laser. All right, Tim, what you got going on? I think you and I are working on fun things with rocks. Rocks. We're giving rocks anxiety.
Today, what my graphics card wrote for me. Making me think of 12 Days of Christmas, but with graphics cards. So yeah, I've been playing a little bit with OpenAI, the models they released, I think a week or two back, the GPT OSS 20B one, which is small enough to run on kind of like consumer hardware. So I have like a decent graphics card from a couple years back. It's nothing super special, not top shelf or anything, but it's all right. And that lower end model, that 20B model, actually runs pretty good on that. So I was surprised, and I've made a couple things with it to show off here. So I got a couple of them. The first one is this parametric gear generator. So it wrote this HTML page to generate SVG gears. And then it's got sliders down here where you can adjust all the different variables, the sizes and the number of teeth and stuff like that.
It's good in the hackerspace. So you have this like general computer sitting around. You're like, make a SVG, gear thing. It's like, okay. And then you export the thing and then you have a laser cutter there. Maybe this gets you going. It's not, Eagle Cat or whatever, but this might be good enough.
It's like privacy and security.
It might be good enough.
Like,
but even just like, we have an OLPC, and we're not going to dunk on it or anything, but like obviously ahead of its time. Imagine having this type of smarts that you could start to do stuff offline with it. Anyways, this is cool. Yeah, so it makes an SVG. I've had to do this before.
Yeah, I was impressed with this one. This was pretty basic one. It came out a little ratchety, so this would be like more for a ratchet than a gear. But it took like when it wrote this, it explained like here's the chunk of code that you can swap out if you want like a more fancy gear tooth profile. So it kind of gave me the basic code and was like, here's what you do if you want to take it to the next step.
That's cool.
So the next one is this pretty flower generator. So it can generate SVGs pretty easy because SVG is XML, which is obviously text-based. This one is generating PNG, which is a little bit tougher because it's obviously not text-based. But what it is really good at is writing Python code. Python has PIL. So I asked it to write a function that draws a pretty flower, and it did a great job like parameterizing everything. So you can go through and really like tweak it after the fact and change the way it looks. So I can... This was the default one it came out with.
For the 20B model. I mean,
and like, you know,
fits in 12 gigs of RAM.
Doing logo, you know, by the time you're done, because we want to have like a little computer that like just like does little programs. This is a good coding computer. Like you can kind of do stuff with. Like it's a Python interpreter and like data classifier sort of. Like.
Yeah, totally. The logo I thought was a good idea. If you're trying to spitball a logo, this can kind of give you something where you can tweak and say like bigger, smaller, change the color, change the size and stuff. Like you get one chunk of code, but then you can kind of fine tune what you get out of it, which I think is pretty cool. The next, I have two more quick ones I'll show you. So the next one is just straight up how I've been running it, which is just in Olama from the command line. And one of the really cool things about this model, which I haven't seen on any of the like web-based ones so far, is it actually shows you everything it's doing while it's thinking. So you type in your command. I asked it to write a haiku about DIY electronics, and you can see here it goes into thinking, and it kind of just writes to itself. It talks to itself. And in this case, it was going through and it kind of like spit out a rough draft of a haiku, and then it went back and counted all the syllables, and it decided, oh, we're missing a syllable in one line. So it would add a word there, and then it kind of went back and double checked all the syllables again. And then finally it's like, boom, done thinking, and it spits out the result. And I think that's really cool, the way that you can actually see what it's doing step by step. They tell you if you're going to like integrate it in a product, you know, ordinarily you would hide this from the end user. But I found it really fascinating to watch it go, especially when you're having it decode.
So we're all, but here's the thing. It's like, so for the people who watch this, if you're into AI, like maybe you're fascinated with what we're doing. We're going in to like play with its brains, and like it's open source. So we're like, I want to see what it's doing, because by the way, you can like, I read the paper and everything. You can mess with these and you can like completely screw them up. And you can, when they're thinking, when it's pretending to think, blah, 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 you can have it say the most terrible things because it gets popped out of its model parameters or whatever. It's like, never say devil. And then you could do something to it, and it's like devil, devil, devil. So it's interesting, and the thinking part is where you see it. So if you needed to debug things with this like new form of computing or like whatever, it's really helpful. And it is neat to see it say, you're asking me to do something I cannot do, when you're asking like, oh, like, how do I make a bomb? Like, everyone always says that, and they want to see what happens. Like, I don't know that. I don't know how to do that.
This kind of reminds me of like, you know, when I was younger, and like, if you wanted to use a Unix system, you would have to get an account at a school computer, right? You couldn't run it at home because Linux didn't really exist yet in reasonable form. And then eventually it's like, whoa, like people had 386s and 486s with MMUs. You could run Linux at home. And it was like, it took a really long time to boot. It would crash a lot. It was like really flaky. It obviously wasn't as fast as like, you know, these beautiful, huge mainframes at schools, but it was like you could tinker with them. And so I kind of feel like you're doing the same thing. It's like, you're like, oh, it's just kind of like slow, and it's kind of, you know, you can see the thinking process. It takes a while, but
microcontroller sort of. Like,
it's like it's the beginning of something. It's kind of fun to play at the beginning.
And like someone in the chat says, that's impressive. I also found AIs to be really bad at counting. Me too. What's neat is these are computers that count precisely. These are things that do everything in precisely, and it's like best guess. It's a best guess machine that acts like something else when you tell it to. So like these are great demos. What else you got?
Yeah. Yeah. And I will say, I've noticed that as well. It's not so great at counting, and I didn't actually count the syllables. So it could be wrong in the haiku, but I have noticed that too, where it's like, it goes crazy when it counts sometimes.
Yeah.
And then the last one I have loaded up is like a demo of integrating this model into another script. So one of the other cool things about this is Olama, which is the thing I'm running it through, has a Python API, Python like library you can install. So you can just Olama import it, and then that makes it super easy to programmatically prompt the model. So down here, it's super easy to just get a chat, initialize it up, get a response or whatever, and then give it the prompt right here. So what this one is doing is it will fetch data from Open Web Map API. And it's a command line tool, so you can run the command. You can tell it what city you want. It will fetch the weather data for that city from Open Weather Map. And then in the prompt, I basically tell it, here's the city. I want you to write me a short story, like a creative story or a poem. And then here's the data. And I just drop in the blob of JSON data. So it's like half a prompt and then half just raw data. And it's able to figure out what I want. And then the one that it outputted before we started up show and tell here, I ran this for New York, and it does this, and it's kind of like awkward the way it does it, because it puts like super precise temperatures and stuff in there in the middle of the poem. So it's kind of funny the way it comes out. I think it would actually be really funny to have it read off just because of the way that it comes out. But this one was cool to me as well, just because of the way that you can integrate it with an API, but you kind of retain control of it, right? Because my Python code is what went to the API. It told it which data to fetch, and then I could tell it, which data I want to give the LLM specifically.
Yeah,
in this case,
on the website going to the connector section saying, please allow all Google Gmail. Like, it's the scariest things, like Slack and everything where they're adding these like AI connectors. It's like when you get a new app, it's like, do you want your phone contacts to go to Zapzorp app? And I'm like, no, like, it is scary. And I like that you can make your own like air gap or something like that with code. And it's like, I'll go on the web this way.
Yeah.
I'll use fetch in a safe way.
That actually reminds me a little bit of, like, if you look online, there's a project people did with like e-ink where it displays the time, but as quotes. And so like from books that had the time in it. And so what you would do is you could have this on an e-ink display and then bold the data. So there's a story, but then you're like, well, what's the temperature? You just see like 18.5
that'd be cool.
And then like gust of wind, and then like rainy and barometer,
that's really neat.
So I think that could be, you know what I mean? Like, can you italicize it? So it's like, there's a story, but you're like, what's the weather? And
and you can
just look
pop
at
an entire data set of public domain books locally and blah, blah, blah. So this is great. And you know what I like? This is the very beginning. Like, we'll look at this years from now. And it's like, we're just tinkering with this idea that there might be like general intelligence that does shit on its own. Like, okay, like, I don't know, it's probably not going to work out for most people. It'll work out for somebody. Good luck, everybody. This is our toy. It's open source, by the way. It's why we didn't really show a lot of the projects we want to do, because it's like, oh, go use a model, now pay $20 a month. This is all things you download on your computer, and that's it. You could even put it in a product if you wanted to. It's open source. Good luck, I guess, if there's any court decisions, if these things are supposed to exist or not one day.
All right. Thanks, Tim.
Bye, Tim. Thank you so much. All right, everybody. That is our show and tell this week. You got a glimpse of the future, I hope.
Yeah, very
cyberpunk. Yeah, well, that's the way it should be. This is why people tune into the show. Ford, let's get ready for Ask an Engineer. We're going to set up. We've been doing Ask an Engineer Summer Edition, which is a little different. We put our new products in the store. We do INMPI, and then whenever we have time for before we fall asleep, and or babysitter has to go, that's what we do. So we'll see everybody in just a few.
Couple minutes.
Bye bye.
Bye, buddy.